Hey, Insomniacs, you're watching World News Now.
Sleep is overrated.
This morning on World News Now, found alive. The young girls who were missing for 2 weeks are safe and sound this morning.
The man who kidnapped them after killing their mother and sister is dead. It's Friday, May 11th.
From ABC News, this is World News Now.
Good Friday morning, everybody. I'm Rob Nelson.
And I'm Sunny Hostin in for Paula Ferris. Some late-breaking developments in the story that's had our attention since late last month. The amazing part of it is 2 young lives were saved.
You have to believe this is against the odds a little bit here, because there were some grim, predictions on the way this case would end. Those girls being found alive was not the ending I think most folks had their money on.
I think that's right.
Good news there. Also this morning, who saw this one coming in the race for the White House? Mitt Romney's campaign this morning dealing with some new allegations that Romney bullied a fellow student in high school. When you run for president, they're going to dig up everything you've ever done and said, and they're going back almost 50 years to his high school days.
Although it's a character issue, isn't it? I mean, some people say, you show me the 15-year-old, I'll show you the man.
They could be. I mean, they're going way back in the file here. Romney's saying, look, obviously I have evolved since then, and getting a defense this morning. We'll get into that as well.
Yes. Well, then it's like a new gold rush going on in the plains and lots of other places around the country. Black gold, that is, as in oil. Our correspondent went to Texas and talked to some of the new rich there. Plenty of others are hoping to join their ranks.
Finding millions in your own backyard. Wouldn't that be nice?
It would be really nice.
Let's all go to Kansas. Also, the big debut this weekend at the box office, Dark Shadows, starring the one and only Johnny Depp. It's getting some lukewarm, actually, reviews from critics. We'll see what's up there in Insomniac Theater coming up later in this half hour. We also want to say goodbye again, kind of maybe, to Sunny after another 2-week tour of duty this year last night with us, at least for a while, for the foreseeable future. But
yes,
you never know around here.
We'll see. I may be back.
But it's been fun. So here we go. One good show. More good shows to come. All right. But first, the big news of the morning. The 2 sisters are safe this morning after their harrowing ordeal.
That's right. The girls were kidnapped after their mother and older sister were murdered. ABC's Larry Jacobs has the latest details on their rescue.
Adam Mays, who kidnapped them after allegedly killing their mother and older sister, is dead.
Preliminary reports indicate Mays shot himself in the head and was later pronounced dead at an area hospital.
The 2 murders spurred a desperate race against time to find the elusive Mays and his captives before he could kill again. Adam Mays was charged with murdering Joanne Bain and her 14-year-old daughter Adrienne and kidnapping Bain's 2 younger daughters. His motives are unclear. Mays may have thought the 2 girls were his daughters.
There was 2 little girls that he was just absolutely obsessed with. He was claiming that those 2 children were his.
He made us all think that that was his kids.
Mays was on the FBI's most wanted list as authorities scoured the country for him and the 2 girls. Mays and his wife Teresa were charged with first-degree murder. Police say she has confessed, saying Mays killed Joanne in the Baines, Tennessee garage and Adrienne inside the house. Now police still have a mystery to unravel, but they know they have saved 2 young lives. Larry Jacobs, ABC News.
Okay, in other news this morning, the defense gets its turn now in the John Edwards trial. Prosecutors rested their case yesterday after 14 days of dramatic and often damaging testimony. Jurors have the day off today, but lawyers for Edwards will argue before the judge that the case should actually be dropped because of a lack of evidence. That argument is pretty much standard in these kinds of cases. And if the judge denies the request, which is largely expected, Edwards' attorneys will start their defense come Monday.
To presidential politics now, and a new focus on Mitt Romney's past. Romney has apologized for what he called stupid high school pranks that may have gone too far, but he says he never bullied anyone. Romney has been accused of being part of a gang that targeted a student presumed to be gay by holding him down and cutting off his bleached blonde hair. Other classmates have come forward to defend Romney, saying he was clownish but never malicious.
And yeah, I mean, it's always a fair question. Number one, the timing of the story in terms of the same-sex marriage debate and the president's words this week in terms of, the timing of this. Interesting, the story broke in the Washington Post. And Romney, and somewhat logically, I think here, said he did dumb things, but, quote, homosexuality was the furthest thing from his mind. This was an event that took place almost 5 decades ago, back in the 60s, which country was in a very different place with gay issues back then.
I don't know. I've got to tell you, someone that would hold someone down and cut someone else's hair, that's pretty significant for me.
Boys being boys, or was it related to this student who's now dead, his presumed sexuality?
And even if it's not about sexuality, even if it's just about someone being different, cutting someone else's hair off, I think is significant.
All right, we will see how it plays out.
And I think people will agree with me, but some people may not. So.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. Oh, they find everything on you when you run for president.
They sure do.
For sure. That's the one thing. The spotlight is bright. Well, President Obama says his endorsement of same-sex marriage is simply the logical extension of what America is supposed to be, a nation that treats everyone fairly.
And that's his message to donors as he wraps up a West Coast campaign swing. ABC's Karen Travers is in Washington with how that's going over. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning, Rob. Good morning, Sunny. Americans are still talking about the president's announcement from the other day about his new support for same-sex marriage. But the president got out of Washington, headed to the West Coast to bring in some major campaign cash.
It was a star-studded night in Hollywood for President Obama. A fundraiser at actor George Clooney's house drew A-list celebrities: Billy Crystal, Robert Downey Jr., Salma Hayek, Eddie Murphy, and Barbra Streisand. It also brought in north of $12 million for the president's re-election campaign. Around the nation, Americans are polarized about the president's new support for gay marriage. In an exclusive interview with ABC's Robin Roberts, the president said his views on same-sex marriage changed as part of an evolution. And just like Mr. Obama, Americans have also evolved on this issue. More than 50% now say same-sex marriage should be legal. But there's a significant generational and racial divide. Most Americans under the age of 40 support same-sex marriage. A majority of African Americans oppose it.
I think it's important to recognize that folks who feel very strongly that marriage should be defined narrowly as between a man and a woman. Many of them are not coming at it from a mean-spirited perspective. They're coming at it because they care about families.
Officials from both the Obama and Romney campaigns admit this probably won't be a major factor in the race. But the president's team quickly went to work with this fundraising appeal and this new campaign video.
Same-sex couples should be able to get married.
I indicated my view, which is I do not favor marriage between people of the same gender.
The president's expected to bring in more than $15 million today in his West Coast swing. That's more than Mitt Romney has raised in his best month of fundraising. Robin, Sunny.
The U.S. Postal Service is warning that with losses topping $3 billion so far this year, it may have to default on its payments. Officials are pleading with Congress for help. They'd like to eliminate Saturday mail delivery and reduce soaring labor costs to try to offset declining mail volume and future retiree benefits. The Senate has passed a relief measure, but the House has yet to act.
And speaking of money, there is word of another huge financial loss this morning, this time for the nation's largest bank. JP Chase says that one of its trading portfolios has taken an unexpected $2 billion hit in the last 6 weeks. That portfolio was designed as a contingency against risky moves the company makes with its own money. JP Chase stock dropped almost 7% in after-hours trading.
A commuter jet had to make an emergency landing in Boston after a passenger tried to open a cabin door in flight. The U.S. Airways plane was heading to Philadelphia from Portland, Maine, when the man, who appeared to be disoriented, began to pull on an emergency door latch. He was quickly restrained while the flight was diverted to Logan Airport in Boston. The man has been charged with interfering with the flight crew.
What a scary moment. Trying to open that door, that could have taken the whole plane down.
You know how I love to fly. I mean, that would have not gone over well with me.
They subdued him. Give him some peanuts and relax. All right, here's your Friday forecast, everybody. Another nasty day across Texas. Some drenching rain, flooding, even possible tornadoes around Corpus Christi and Houston into coastal Louisiana. Also some rain around Dallas and Oklahoma City and the Colorado Rockies. Meanwhile, some scattered thunderstorms from Omaha to Minneapolis.
Mostly 70s from Kansas to Detroit, 69 in Boston, 73 right here in New York, and 87 in Miami. A scorching 97 in Phoenix. Phoenix, 90 in Sacramento, and near 70 in Seattle. 97?
That's warm
Phoenix?
for May already. They're used to it out there. That's a dry heat.
That's true. Well, if you were with us yesterday at this time, you know we told you that sometimes everything just goes right at the ballpark. And amazingly this morning, we have yet another example.
This one comes to us from Atlanta and features a game involving 6-year-olds, believe it or not. Now check out Ross Bernoff at shortstop. He catches the fly ball, steps on third, and tags out the runner coming from second. Yes, folks, that is an unassisted triple play. Well done, fella.
Well, we're told that Ross loves sports and his favorite show is Sports Center. Who knows? He just might have made it on there, too.
You never know.
With that play,
the future is bright.
It is quite possible. Look at that.
He'll be on Good Morning America in no time.